That a lot of questions. What's going on? This is not normal. And is it really shocking that all this egregious violence goes against my husband? Especially that we hear the leaders from the opposition party and mainstream media branding him as a threat to democracy, calling him vile names. They only fueling a toxic atmosphere and giving power all of these people that they want to do harm to him. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. The country.
A lawsuit worth $150 million is no small matter, especially when it involves a former First Lady. When someone as high profile as Melania Trump takes legal action, people take notice. And when the lawsuit is directed at a well-known television personality like Sunny Hostin, things can quickly spiral into controversy. It all started with a few remarks made on the popular talk show, The View. Known for her strong opinions, Sunny Hostin didn't hold back when discussing Melania Trump's relationship with her husband, former President Donald Trump. During a segment, she implied that Melania was unhappy in her marriage, and even hinted that she might want to get rid of Donald Trump. Whether her comments were meant as a joke or a serious claim, they spread like wildfire. The internet exploded with reactions, headlines rolled in, and before long, Melania decided she had had enough. Unlike many public figures who ignore media speculation,
consequences.
Would you look? This is a network that still runs out fact checks to these women, like it's concerned about them staying factual. She hates Trump. She doesn't want to be near him. She doesn't want to be president again. She destroyed the Rose Garden, and she hates Christmas. That is what passes for news on a network. They did a presidential.
Melania Trump has a history of fighting back against false claims. She is not known for making frequent public statements, but when she does, she makes sure they count. This time, she has taken her response to the courtroom. She is suing Hostin for defamation, arguing that the statements made on The View were not only false, but also damaging to her reputation. And she isn't just looking for an apology. She's demanding a massive $150 million in damages. That figure alone shows how serious she is about protecting her image. Beyond the money, this lawsuit raises an important question. Can television personalities say anything they want about public figures without facing consequences? Where is the line between expressing an opinion and spreading defamatory statements? If Melania wins this case, it could have a lasting impact on how media figures discuss political personalities. It could change the way talk shows handle discussions about famous figures.
Melania Trump came out and said she's about as pro-choice as they come. And here was the reaction on The View.
Like the wife of a dictator. She doesn't sound like the wife. She don't sound like the wife of an evil man.
Yeah, she sounds like she's in a happy marriage, right? Why would she go on here to talk with Fox and go in there?
Making hosts think twice before making bold claims. This isn't the first time Melania has taken legal action against the media. In 2017, she sued the Daily Mail, a British tabloid, for publishing an article that falsely claimed she had worked as an escort before meeting Donald Trump. The article spread quickly, damaging her reputation and leading to widespread speculation. Melania didn't just deny the claim, she took the matter to court. She filed a defamation lawsuit in both the United States and the United Kingdom, once again seeking $150 million in damages. Her argument was clear. The false claims not only harmed her personal reputation, but also negatively impacted her ability to build her own business ventures as First Lady. The case didn't last long. The Daily Mail quickly realized they had made a mistake and chose
First Ladies.
People like our show because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
We're checked by everybody.
Yeah, but we went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He
believes in dragons?
He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like, I guess, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really, really bad information.
Just to settle rather than fight it out in court. They agreed to pay Melania a reported $2.9 million and issued a public apology, admitting that their claims were untrue. That lawsuit sent a strong message. Melania Trump does not take defamation lightly. It made it clear that she would not tolerate damaging rumors, no matter how powerful the media outlet behind them might be. Unlike her husband, who often responds to criticism with fiery social media posts, Melania takes a quieter but more strategic approach. She rarely engages in public disputes, but instead relies on legal action to defend her reputation. From the moment she stepped into the role of First Lady, she made it clear that she demanded respect. While other political spouses often responded to criticism through interviews or public relations teams, Melania preferred to let her lawyers handle it. Whether it was her lawsuit against the Daily Mail or other legal threats she made against publishers and authors spreading rumors about her, she followed a clear pattern. She didn't argue in the media. She fought back in court. Some people see this approach as a way to protect her privacy and dignity. Others believe she uses the legal system as a tool to control her public image and silence critics. Either way, her lawsuits have played a significant role in shaping how the public perceives her. They set her apart from previous First Ladies, who often faced criticism but rarely responded with legal action. Now the question is whether this strategy will work against The View and Sunny Hostin.
In defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
Scream. Sunny, you have a legal note. I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism.
Winning a case against a tabloid is one thing, but suing a mainstream television personality from a nationally syndicated talk show is a much bigger challenge. If Melania wins, it won't just be a personal victory. It could change the way media figures talk about public figures forever. On the other hand, if she loses, it could set a precedent that even high-profile figures like her cannot always control what is said about them in the media. Sunny Hostin, a well-known legal analyst and co-host of The View, is no stranger to controversy. However, this time, her words have landed her in serious legal trouble. During an episode of the show, she made a blunt and surprising remark about Melania Trump. She stated that Melania despises her husband and even suggested that she might secretly be working against him. It was a direct attack on the former First Lady's relationship with Donald Trump, and it wasn't long before the comment went viral online.so. Where did Hostin get this idea? She pointed to some of Melania's past statements and actions. Over the years, Melania has occasionally expressed opinions that seem to contradict her husband's policies. For example, she has spoken in favor of women's rights and abortion access, despite Donald Trump's firm anti-abortion stance. Hostin took this as a sign of deeper resentment, implying that Melania was subtly expressing opposition to her husband. Whether Hostin was exaggerating or
lawsuit.
These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what The View's audience loves. It's targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now. This is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tension.
Genuinely believed her claim she had just stepped into dangerous territory. Melania, who is known for staying silent rather than engaging in public disputes, had been accused of despising her own husband on national television. And she was not going to let it go unchecked. The backlash was swift. Conservative commentators criticized The View for making baseless claims, calling it another example of media bias against Republicans. Supporters of Melania argued that she had always maintained a level of dignity and privacy, making Hostin's comments pure speculation. On the other hand, some media outlets defended Hostin, arguing that public figures, especially former First Ladies, should expect scrutiny. They pointed out that Melania's actions over the years, such as refusing to hold Donald Trump's hand in public or her seemingly cold expressions during his speeches, had long fueled speculation about the state of their marriage. However, what sets this case apart is the legal aspect. Speculating about a celebrity's marriage is one thing, but making claims that could harm a person's reputation crosses into dangerous legal territory. As the clip of Hostin's remarks continued to spread, legal experts began discussing whether Melania had a strong case for defamation.
You need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation.
Could Hostin's comments be considered legally damaging? Would Melania actually go through with a lawsuit? It didn't take long to get an answer. Reports soon confirmed that Melania's legal team was already drafting a lawsuit. Unlike previous controversies she had ignored, this time, she was determined to take action. As the legal battle unfolded, it became clear that the stakes were incredibly high. Melania was not just seeking an apology, she was demanding a staggering $150 million in damages. This lawsuit could have major implications. If Melania wins, it could change how talk show hosts, comedians, and political commentators discuss public figures. They might become more cautious about what they say, knowing that a lawsuit could follow. However, if she loses, it might reinforce the idea that public figures, no matter how powerful, cannot always control what is said about them in the media. For Sunny Hostin, what started as a bold remark has turned into a serious legal challenge. And for Melania Trump, this case isn't just about one comment. It's about sending a message. She is making it clear that she will not allow people to damage her reputation.
You know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade, but apparently his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Take a look.
Without consequences. Now the big question remains, will this lawsuit reshape media accountability? Or will it be seen as a threat to free speech? One thing is certain, this legal battle is far from over. Melania Trump has filed a lawsuit over comments made about her on a popular talk show. Her legal team argues that the statements were not only false but also damaging to her reputation. They claim that airing these remarks on national television had serious consequences for her personal and public image. The lawsuit states that the comments were not just casual speculation, but were made with the intention of embarrassing and defaming her. One of the most striking aspects of this case is the amount Melania is suing for, a staggering $150 million. This enormous figure shows how seriously she is taking this case. Her legal team argues that this sum represents not only the damage to her reputation, but also serves as a warning to media personalities who make unfounded claims. The lawsuit is not just targeting the host who made the remarks, but also The View and ABC, the network that airs the show. Melania's attorneys argue that the network allowed these statements to be broadcast without challenging them, which they claim amounts to endorsing the comments. If Melania wins this lawsuit, it could have a significant impact on the media.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
media industry. Networks may become more cautious about what their hosts say, especially when discussing public figures. However, defamation cases involving public figures are notoriously difficult to win. In order to succeed, Melania must prove not only that the statements were false, but also that they were made with actual malice. This means showing that the host either knew the claims were false or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. This is a high legal standard, which is why defamation cases involving celebrities and politicians are rare and often unsuccessful. A past case that provides some insight into this one is Melania's 2017 lawsuit against the Daily Mail. In that case, she sued over false claims about her past. The lawsuit was settled, with the tabloid paying damages and issuing a public apology. That victory showed that Melania is not afraid to take legal action against media outlets and that she has the legal team to support her. However, this case is different. Unlike the Daily Mail, which published a written article that could be proven false, the statements in question here were made on a talk show. Courts generally give more protection to opinion-based commentary, especially in political discussions. The defense will likely argue that the host's remarks were personal opinions rather than factual statements.
To be false.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
Making it harder for Melania to prove defamation. However, public figures have won defamation lawsuits before. A famous example is Hulk Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker, which resulted in a $140 million judgment in his favor and led to the website shutting down. More recently, Dominion Voting Systems successfully sued Fox News for defamation, resulting in a massive $787 million settlement. These cases prove that media outlets can be held accountable for spreading false information, but only if the plaintiff can show significant harm caused by the statements. If Melania's lawsuit moves forward, it could set an important legal precedent. If she wins, networks may have to be more careful about how their hosts discuss public figures, fearing potential lawsuits. On the other hand, if she loses, it could reinforce the idea that public figures must tolerate even harsh or speculative statements about them. This case is not just about Melania and the talk show host. It raises broader questions about the limits of media freedom and the consequences of making unverified claims about public figures. The outcome could shape future defamation cases and redefine the balance between free speech and protecting reputations. When news of Melania's $150 million lawsuit against The View host Sunny Hostin broke, rumors about Hostin's future on the show spread quickly. Some reports suggested that ABC executives were considering firing her to avoid legal trouble, while others speculated that the network was worried about the potential financial liability if the case went to trial.
Because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can. And
so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View.
And
look, The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it?
As a media personality, Hostin relies on sharp commentary to engage viewers. But now her words had landed her in serious legal trouble. Initially, rumors circulated that Hostin had been fired in response to the lawsuit, sending shockwaves through the industry. However, these claims turned out to be false. She remained on the panel alongside Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and the rest of the team. Despite keeping her job, the lawsuit undeniably left a mark on her career. Legal experts and media analysts pointed out that if she won the case, the controversy could impact her future contracts, endorsements, and professional opportunities. ABC, like many major networks, has a vested interest in protecting itself from legal liabilities. While The View thrives on controversy, a lawsuit of this scale forces executives to take a closer look at how their hosts handle public discussions. Some sources claimed that, behind the scenes, Hostin was advised to be more careful with her words and to avoid making speculative remarks that could put the network at risk of further lawsuits. This lawsuit also raised a bigger issue for talk show hosts, journalists, and commentators. It served as a warning that even opinion-based discussions can have serious legal consequences, especially when discussing high-profile figures. If Melania Trump wins, it could set a precedent that changes the way shows like The View, The Talk, and Real Time with Bill Maher discuss political figures. If Hostin wins, it could discourage public figures from suing media personalities over controversial statements. The lawsuit became a hot topic on The View itself. On a following episode, Whoopi Goldberg briefly addressed the issue, stating that the show has always encouraged strong opinions but also values responsible dialogue. Joy Behar, known for her outspoken political views, defended Hostin, arguing that discussing public figures is part of what makes The View what it is. She also suggested that Melania, as a former First Lady, should expect public scrutiny. However, behind the scenes, tensions were reportedly high. While a BC publicly supported Hostin, there were concerns about how the lawsuit could impact the network. Producers held meetings on how to handle the controversy, and ABC's legal team worked to ensure that further discussions about Melania Trump did not escalate the situation. The case also sparked debates about free speech in the media. Supporters of The View argued that talk shows should be allowed to critique and challenge public figures without fear of lawsuits. Others, however, believed that Melania had every right to defend herself against what she saw as false and damaging claims. Another key issue was whether The View had been reckless in allowing such statements to air without fact-checking. Unlike news programs, The View is a talk show where hosts share their opinions rather than report verified facts. But does that mean they have the right to speculate on someone's personal life without consequences? In response to the controversy, BC executives reportedly reviewed their editorial policies and provided additional legal guidance to their hosts. Some insiders suggested that The View would be more cautious in the future, ensuring that controversial statements were backed by factual sources or clearly labeled as personal opinions, rather than stated as facts. Despite the lawsuit, The View remained one of the most watched daytime talk shows, proving that even legal battles can drive public interest. However, the impact of the lawsuit was undeniable. Sunny Hostin, while still employed, now had to be more careful with her commentary. Other TV hosts also took note, realizing that no media figure is completely untouchable. This case was not just about one comment, it became a larger conversation about media responsibility, legal accountability, and the fine line between free speech and defamation. The outcome of this lawsuit could change the way television hosts, journalists, and commentators discuss public figures in the future. Should Melania Trump win her case, or is this an attack on free speech? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on the latest controversies, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.